welcome to our 7 Days Report Show. I'm your host, Vasilios Nikolaos Vitsiloyanis. Here, we bring you all the news from around the world through all major media outlets. We bring you all the news that matters most. We delve into real news affecting our society, politics, economy, culture, and education. Let's get started with our first news. A rare hantavirus outbreak aboard a cruise ship in the Atlantic Ocean has sparked global alarm, with 3 passengers confirmed dead and health officials racing to contain the threat. The World Health Organization, WHO, announced 1 confirmed case, while 5 others remain under investigation, marking a rare maritime emergence of the rodent-borne virus. The affected vessel, traveling from Argentina to Cape Verde, an archipelago off West Africa's coast, carried hundreds of passengers when symptoms first appeared. Hantavirus, typically spread through contact with infected rodents' urine, droppings, or saliva, causes severe respiratory distress known as hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, HPS. Early signs mimic the flu fever, muscle aches, and fatigue, escalating rapidly to life-threatening lung failure. Fatality rates can exceed 30% without prompt intervention per CDC data. The ship was quarantined mid-voyage after reports of unexplained illnesses, a WHO spokesperson stated. Crew members isolated affected individuals, and the vessel was rerouted to a Cape Verde port for medical evacuations. Testing confirmed hantavirus in 1 victim via PCR assays, with genetic sequencing underway to identify the strain likely Andes virus prevalent in South America. Experts suspect rodents stowed away during the Buenos Aires embarkation, thriving in the ship's cargo holds or vents. Cruise lines must enhance pest control in international routes, urged Dr. Elena Ramirez, an infectious disease specialist at Johns Hopkins. Past outbreaks, like the 1,993 Four Corners epidemic in the U.S., killed dozens and highlighted urban rodent risks. Cape Verde authorities have imposed travel restrictions, and the cruise operator is cooperating with contact tracing. Passengers are urged to monitor for symptoms and seek immediate care, who warns of potential spread via fomites, emphasizing hygiene. This incident underscores vulnerabilities in global travel amid climate-driven rodent surges. Investigations continue as health agencies bolster surveillance. 2 people were killed and several others injured on Monday afternoon after a car drove into a crowd in the eastern German city of Leipzig, according to local authorities. Police said the suspected driver, a 33-year-old German citizen, was arrested at the scene. Leipzig Mayor Burkhard Jung confirmed the arrest and said investigators had not yet determined a motive for the attack. Emergency services responded quickly to the incident, which occurred in a busy area of the city and left bystanders shaken. Authorities have not released the identities of the victims or the injured, and the extent of the injuries has not yet been made public. Officials said the investigation is continuing and that they are working to establish the circumstances leading up to the crash. Police have not said whether the incident was intentional, though the targeting of a crowd has raised serious concern among residents. Witnesses described a chaotic scene as first responders secured the area and provided medical assistance. The city remained under heightened police presence after the attack, while investigators collected evidence and interviewed witnesses. Mayor Jung veered his condolences to the families of those killed and said the city would support those affected by the violence. He also urged the public to remain calm while authorities carry out their work. The incident comes amid renewed attention across Germany to public safety and the vulnerability of crowded urban spaces. Officials have not said when more details about the suspect or possible motive may be released. The Australian government revealed on Wednesday that 13 members of families with ties to the extremist group Islamic State, IS, in Syria are planning to return home, but officials will not assist in their journey. Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke addressed the development during a press conference in Canberra, emphasizing the constraints on border authorities. There are very serious limits on what we can do to prevent Australian citizens from re-entering the country, Burke stated. He underscored that while citizenship revocation remains an option for some dual nationals, these individuals hold Australian passports, complicating efforts to bar their entry. The announcement comes amid ongoing fallout from IS's territorial defeat in Syria and Iraq in 2019, when hundreds of Australians joined the group as foreign fighters or supporters. Australia has stripped citizenship from over 20 extremists and repatriated a small number of women and children, often under strict conditions, including de-radicalization programs. However, Burke noted that legal obligations under international law protect citizens' right to return, leaving the government reliant on enhanced screening upon arrival. Security experts warn of risks, citing past cases where returnees plotted attacks. These families represent a potential threat, even if indirect, said counterterrorism analyst Dr. Lena Harper from the Australian Strategic Policy Institute. Vetting at the border is crucial, but resources are stretched. The government plans rigorous assessments, including interviews and surveillance, for the group upon re-entry. Burke assured the public, "We will use every tool available to monitor and mitigate risks." No timeline for their arrival was given, and authorities are coordinating with Syrian contacts to verify identities. This development reignites debates on balancing national security with human rights as opposition leaders call for tougher measures like expanded citizenship laws. Intelligence officials in South Korea believe North Korea is easing its bellicose rhetoric toward the south, even as Pyongyang removes long-standing references to peaceful reunification from its constitution. South Korea's National Intelligence Service, NIS, shared this assessment during a closed-door parliamentary meeting on Thursday. According to sources familiar with the briefing, the NIS noted a marked decline in hostile language from North Korean state media and leader Kim Jong-un's public statements over the past month. This shift contrasts with Pyongyang's recent constitutional revisions, which excised phrases promoting peaceful Korean unification, a cornerstone of inter-Korean dialogue for decades. While the rhetoric has cooled, the constitutional changes signal a deeper ideological pivot, one NIS official reportedly told lawmakers. Analysts interpret this as North Korea doubling down on its stance as a separate nuclear-armed state, potentially closing the door on reconciliation talks. The tonal shift follows a period of heightened tensions, including North Korea's barrage of missile tests and trash-filled balloon launches toward the south earlier this year. However, recent broadcasts from Pyongyang's Korean Central News Agency have avoided direct threats, focusing instead on domestic achievements and U.S. criticisms. Experts caution that the de-escalation may be tactical. Kim Jong-un could be buying time amid economic pressures and U.S. election uncertainties, said Park Hyun-jun, a Korea University professor specializing in North Korean studies. South Korea's unification ministry echoed this, urging vigilance while expressing cautious optimism for renewed dialogue. The NIS briefing comes amid stalled inter-Korean relations since 2020. President Yoon Suk-yeol's administration has prioritized denuclearization demands, while North Korea demands sanctions relief. Whether this rhetorical thaw leads to substantive engagement remains unclear. For now, Seoul watches closely, balancing hope with preparedness. Tensions in the Persian Gulf boiled over as Iran announced it had launched missile strikes on U.S. Navy warships, claiming retaliation for an alleged American assault on an Iranian oil tanker. The U.S. military swiftly countered, stating it intercepted the unprovoked Iranian barrage and responded with defensive measures, while emphasizing no desire for further escalation. Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, released footage purportedly showing fast attack boats and drones targeting the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group near the Strait of Hormuz. Our forces delivered a decisive blow to the aggressors who fired first on the tanker MV Persian Pride, endangering our vital energy exports, IRGC spokesperson Reza Ahmadi declared in a state TV broadcast. Tehran accused the U.S. of sabotage amid heightened sanctions, vowing more strikes if provoked. The U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, painted a different picture. Iranian forces initiated an unprovoked attack with anti-ship missiles and drones, all of which were intercepted by our advanced defenses, said CENTCOM spokesman Captain Rachel Hayes. She confirmed a measured response neutralized 2 Iranian drone launch sites but stressed, "We do not seek escalation. Our priority remains freedom of navigation and protecting our personnel." No casualties were reported on either side, though the tanker sustained minor damage and was towed to Bandar Abbas. Satellite imagery from Maxar Technologies showed smoke rising from coastal positions near Iran's Qeshm Island. Analysts warn of a spiral into broader conflict. This echoes 2019 tanker incidents but with deadlier tech, said maritime expert Dr. Lena Karim of the Gulf Policy Institute. Oil prices surged 5% to $92 per barrel, rattling global markets. The White House urged restraint, while Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei praised the military's resolve. Diplomatic channels via Oman remain open, but as warships maneuver, the Gulf teeters on the brink. That was the 7 Days Report Show. I'm your host, Vasilios Nikolaos Vitsiloyanis. Before signing off, I would like to thank you for listening to our news. Until next time, stay informed and be safe. Goodbye.